Hey guys, it's Will. So the Fed just dropped new data today, and here's a few shifts that are moving the market that we're going to be covering with multiple stocks. We're also going to jump into a little bit of the data that just came out. One thing, we were trading Supermicro Computer. That's one we're going to be breaking down as this stock has been very interesting. I've been watching it today. We were trading it in our live session this morning. And while we were trading Supermicro Computer live, there's one interesting setup that we're seeing right now is that they are still reporting revenue numbers that are in the same conversation and range as AMD, but with roughly 1/35th of the market cap of that of AMD. So it doesn't automatically mean that they are super cheap right now, but it does mean that we need to look at the chart. We should look at the fundamentals. And speaking of the charts, we just looked at our chart trading challenge. Looks like scheduled for next week. This is our second challenge that we've ever had. This is the chart reading challenge. And if you want to know exactly when to enter and exit and stop getting caught at the top, this is our second challenge ever. The last one was the 10K trading challenge, and we ended up finishing that week with 4.6% gain throughout the whole week. And for this challenge only, if you join VIP, you'll get Stockmate for free. So you get, that's our daily live trading session membership. You actually are including it for you. We've never done this before. You get Prophecy, so you get all of the analysis tools and systems that I use along with the same models, so you can see the same levels, the same setups, and the same signals that we're going to be using live throughout the challenge. So click the first link below, join VIP for the chart trading challenge, go get Stockme for free. See you guys there. Now, when it comes to the Fed data, right, we had Fed data come out earlier today, and there was a few major moves that took place. Number one, you had this movement where the rate hold with dissent. The committee formally voted 9-3 to keep the benchmark interest rate unchanged. So things are looking pretty good. They're at that 3.5 to 3.75%. It's not that 0%, but it's really looking pretty good. But we've got growing rate hike support. So the minutes revealed that many participants believed further policy tightening and rate increases will be necessary if inflation doesn't cool down soon. What do we think about inflation? Do we think it's going to cool down soon? I think it's highly unlikely we see things cool off too much. The outflows right now are okay from manufacturing. We're seeing still a lot of strength, maybe in the fact that we'll have more manufacturing in the US that's coming, but I think it's not going to be just 1 year. A year ago or a year and a half ago, when we were having that tariff craze with all the tariffs to incentivize Apple and incentivize Google and Microsoft to, or just a lot of manufacturing companies to build inside the US. That was a rough time in the market. Everything was selling down, right? We saw that. That was actually April here of 2025. In the markets, we saw that February, March, April, that was a rough time for a lot of companies. And what we're seeing now is it's going to be a while before we get there. And stock market's still looking good. Assets will most likely rise. So Fed only is a pulse on some of the economic data. But even if we see inflation continue, until we get those hikes, which potentially could happen, stock market's most likely looking continually bullish as we see things play out the last few quarters now. And one thing as well to watch on that proposed meeting overhaul, this is two major things that came from the meeting. Number one, Fed Chairman Kevin Warsh floated the major structural change to reduce the number of policy meetings from 8 to 6 per year. So that's going to be interesting if they do that, because what will it mean? More time in between reports, maybe? It might even possibly mean that there's going to be more uncertainty in the markets potentially as well, that space. So I don't know about that. Kind of interesting. Let me know what you guys think there. Number one, it's going to allow more space in between, but it's also maybe outlandish rallies will continue, but then you also have the potential for outlandish sell-offs to continue, even though economic data might be good, but it's just taking a while to get out there. So that's something I don't think they should do. I think they should keep it at the 8, unless it's really not going to change too much of how the data is consumed and how fast it comes out. I think that if anything, they could have even more meetings. I mean, after all, it is all the economic data on the US. If they're not getting all the economic data fast enough, then maybe they should create new systems to improve the speed at which they get that data. I mean, it is the number one thing that the US seems to focus on the most is the economy, so we should probably have some real-time type stuff that's going to be even more accurate and can allow you to maybe even get real-time reports rather than reducing the amount of reports you get in the economic data. So just something to consider. I don't know about that. The second crazy thing that happened here, not too crazy, is going to be the new stock market hours. This is very interesting. Also, there was a successful cancer vaccine that came out with Moderna. They doubled, their stock doubled today. So earnings have been pretty good today. The market's looking green after hours. You could see that kicking in here in all the AI markets. But the thing about the stock market is that it's essentially going to be shifting here. What is the news here? Stock market hours that are changing. According to NASDAQ, they are going to be moving NASDAQ hours, or not moving, but increasing the number of hours. So we've seen Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev talk about this quite often, that he anticipates we're going to have a 24-hour trading open session in the markets at some point. Now, right now, NASDAQ plans to launch a new oversight that's going to actually roll out later this year, that's scheduled to begin, where the sessions will now go from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. And that's running from Sunday evening to Friday, with daily 1 hour maintenance pause at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, so basically we're talking 23-hour stock trading coming to NASDAQ here in the next quarter. This is going to be super interesting. I can't wait to see what that looks like towards the end of this year. Wow, that's going to be quite exciting. It's almost like it's becoming more like crypto a little bit, huh? So let's talk about the trade here with Supermicro Computer. A lot of investors right now, obviously, when things get choppy or things start to look bullish and bearish and what have you, I would be honest with you that during some of the winters, like it's winter here, that's why I'm wearing this jacket here. I don't know if you guys know that, but I'm in Buenos Aires right now. It's freezing. When I'm playing soccer or football with the locals, it's cold. I know in the United States, you guys are in the heat of August right now. But when it comes to the heat, or when it comes to the winters that you get into here in the markets, where we have sell downs, some stocks have sold down drastically and most likely should recover. Well, if you find yourself in a winter in the markets, the number one key you're going to want to do is first join the chart reading challenge so you can identify when you're seeing those things. Again, the first link in the description. But when we're looking at Supermicro Computer, they've sold down from essentially $122, and they've sold down here and been flat, and they're at levels that they were at previously in 2023. That's right, 2023. They're down here at $37 a share. Now, we had a trade earlier last week on Supermicro Computer where we doubled our money. We jumped in at $37 with the target up to 42, and we hit that target on some call options, and we were able to literally double what was $1,000. That was interesting. I'm doing some experiments that I'll be sharing with you guys later on how many times we can double $1,000, or $1,000. How far can we double it? If we double it, what is it, 10 times, then we'll be to $1 million. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited for that. That's a different challenge though. But when it comes to Supermicro Computer's financials, I think that's where a lot of people are kind of missing some of the boat, right? We were looking at SMCI's financials, and yeah, they have their moments, but they're now out of the heat. They're out of the winter, actually, where they were having problems with their financials. And people are saying they need to get an audit. Then they would get an audit, and then the audit guy gets fired, and then they sell some chips over to, or some liquid cooling and solutions over to China, and then that causes more. But look at this. PE ratio is now at 20, profit margin of just under 4%. With the last quarter, they came in with $11.12 billion. They're literally racking in over $11 billion. They increased their net income to over $1 billion per quarter. And you can see annually, obviously, this is just a very exponential growth. And once again, we just laid it out. They're at the same levels that they were at, not at the peak, not at a level of extreme height, but the same levels that they were at in 2023. In 2023, they were doing $7 billion for the entire year. But in 2026, or the last quarter, they did $11 billion alone just for the quarter. When it comes to uncertainty, let's say, or when it comes to doubts that you have, or I don't even want to say it, fears in the market, if that's for you and you're feeling that way, you can guarantee your returns probably about 12-15% per year. Just go over to SCHD, something like that. Go to Schwab US Dividend and just look at the all time. This is what I do. My conservative portfolio. It's from $9 a share over the last few years, and you can see it's gone up there 300%. It just continues to rally. It's a very consistent and high growth dividend play. Just conservatively do that. But if you're looking at the market right now, you're looking at the super micro computer financials, and you're saying, all right, they're where they were in 2023. They are having revenue of 11 billion a quarter, and their market cap still sits at 23 billion. Then you might be kind of interested in this one. And this isn't, again, you taking action on what I say, but this is me sharing the insights that I'm seeing. The nearest support level is at $36 a share. They're currently just hanging out around that. So if we pull up SMCI here, they're hanging out just at 36 right now. This has been a key level for them. It's going to be a previous resistance for them, that $36, $37 range. This is where we traded them last time to watch them shoot up to 42 in a matter of a day. And so now that we see them sell back down, actually validating this sideways movement from left to right here at this $35 to $37 range, we're looking for this slight recovery, not even a major recovery. We're not talking back to $120. We're literally looking at a next couple days here of about 10 to 15% recovery. And then if we wanted to go longer term into that potential swing or that continuation of where I could imagine they could get to, once again, that's more my projections, but it would be fair to say based on their financials that their market cap would be deemed low. You see, most AI companies, they don't have as much rationale around the value. Most AI companies don't have the right pricing for their company. They'll usually be premium because it's it's a trend market. It's an exciting market. But if you're looking at super micro computer, then you're going to understand here very quickly that their financials are not as beat down or as bad, you could say, as people think. Because if you look at their market cap of 23 billion, yeah, their margins aren't amazing, a billion a quarter. But if you look at their growth annually, they're nearly doubling every single year. And then they're holding positive equity of $8 billion in the last quarter. Their liabilities decreased last quarter. And what's interesting now is, once again, we're looking at the SMCX trade. We're looking for that recovery. If you look at the projections from Prophecy, you can see that Grok is 22% bullish, up to $45 within this year. Claude and Meta are also looking very bullish here, in an average of 19% potential gain. So that's why I see it as an opportunity, and that's why, again, we're looking at the financials comparatively to AMD, because if AMD is sitting at the same revenue last quarter, except they've got better margins. AMD actually came in with 2.3 billion, but they did the same amount of revenue as Supermicro. But if you look at this last quarter, in March 2026, Supermicro actually, when you look at advanced micro devices, so AMD, did worse than Supermicro Computer's current quarter they just came out with, and that includes their actual revenue, their net income. So the margins aren't that bad. And if you compare the two, advanced micro devices, AMD, while they have an advantage in that they're, top competitor with NVIDIA, they're at $761 billion market cap. And again, it's going to be about 35 times larger than that of SMCI, Supermicro, at 23. Actually, it's even more than that at this point. Now about 35 times, a little bit less than that, actually. So what we're looking at for the movement here, we got tech earnings, as we mentioned, to watch. There's been some good earnings. The Fed data looks fine. They are obviously watching out for inflation. And as long as markets continue to kind of work in this kind of efficient manner where they are continually recovering after some of these sell-offs, we're going to be watching Super Microcomputer for short-term trades and continuing to hold it long-term. Now, in the short term, we're actually in a little setup. We haven't actually done much that we got into this morning. It's SMCX. The only reason I'm holding it overnight with the 2X is because it was only 140 shares. But we're also looking for the 2X SMCX to potentially make that a 25 to 30% move on a recovery there, which we may be trading tomorrow morning. And again, if you want to get access, you can get for free access to our daily live trading when you join the challenge in the first link below for our challenge next week. Even if you don't attend next week, you still get free access to our daily live trading if you join VIP of that challenge. So you just go to the first link below, it'll take you here, go through the days, you can go ahead and click join, get early access, and you'll be ready to go. Now, we're going to watch this one. There's also a few other tickers we're covering in the space tech market, the quantum markets, the AI markets. Photonics market's going to be big as well as we see some of that AI market start to recover. AAOI looking good. So we'll be covering those later this week as well. If you want to stay up to date with those companies, then make sure to subscribe and do hit the like button if I earned it, and have a look at the first link for the challenge in the description. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.